Ayan, kabuy. Huwag na lang tayong ano.
Ito naman siya. Nakakatawa niya.
Ewan ko dyan, ano ata ito eh. Hindi ata ito pero yun,
Okay, class. Welcome again. Nice to see you all after 2 weeks. Paano din clear na ng pasok eh, no? So for today, after patapos natin o finish discussing the basic concept of globalization, which is what? Sinabi natin yung talk about globalization. Yeah, overview. We're talking about what? Huh? World? Yeah, global. Ano? When we talk about globalization, we're talking about what? Sige lang. Kasi sabi ko nga, this is the foundation para course through. No? Sa buong course natin, fundamental that we understand what globalization is. Because the following topics that we will be discussing as we go along, yeah, will have its foundation back in chapter 1, which is globalization. So when we talk about globalization, we're talking about yes. Progress. Ang progress ay pangako. Progress is the result. Pero ano ang globalization? Ha? Ano siya? Kasi magre-result siya into progress. May progress daw na sa bansa dahil mayroong trickle down. Down. Effect. Okay? So, tatapuin. Pag umaapaw na.
Lolo ko.
Okay, so ano? What's globalization in essence? Yes. Nagkaroon na kami ng short discussion. Globalization, na progress, no. Progress can be the promised result. Diba? Because, bakit how can there be progress? Because globalization is nakalimutan. Kahapon lang. The globalization, in the general definition, it is integration of integration, yun ang keyword. Keyword is integration.
Of economic. Population.
Integration ng when you talk about integration, diba? It interacts, it combines, and it becomes one. Parang mag-asawa, dalawa, inasal, maging isa. Ano ba yan? Ayun po, so integration of the economy, di ba? Then the world becomes one single, di ba? Nag-integrate ang economy, di ba? Nation, economy, di ba? Integrates, it becomes, the whole world becomes single, bago natin pasukin yung structure. Yeah? Before we go to the structure, we need to understand why there is a structure, because globalization functions like this. Because globalization functions because of the integration of the nation's economy into one global economy, diba? From production, diba? Market, trade, people, diba? Naging isa tayo. Become one. Because of that, integration of the economy, integration of production, the world becomes one single production line, one single market, one trading, becoming one people. Diba? So that's the effect of a globalized economy. Diba? There is a free flow of the process naman ito. The process is nagkaroon ng free flow. Free flow of everything. Diba? From trade, capital, people, diba? And even technology. So, nagkaroon, no? There becomes an interaction. Diba? Different foods, different products, different everything, diba? So that's what globalization has done to this world. Before, sabi ko nga, you can buy an imported chocolate during our time, 1970s, 1980s. We will go to Dao. Sino familiar sa inyo sa Dao? Hindi na, no? Sarado na. Sarado na ang Dao. Before, we will go to Dao, located at the exit of San Fernando in Angeles, Inlets. Why Dao? Because there were the imported products coming from the United States, because nandoon yung Clark Air Base before. Wala na. Inalis na ang American bases noong 1991. Hindi na rin siguro pinabot. Meron tayong US bases located in Clark, and another one, the naval base located in Subic, just besides Olongapo. So if you can hear the stories about Gapo, Olongapo, it is where lots of bars and nightclubs are there in there, because when the US warships arrived, all the American sailors had their rest and recreation in Olongapo. So there where they have the imported products from their ships that arrived. So we will go to Dao. Nandoon ang isang malaking tindahan ng mga imported products before. But now, diba? In the fast pace of globalization, because of the integration of the national economy to world economy, imported na chocolate nasa SM. Diba? MM. Nasa Shopee. Hindi, nasa Shopee. Kuma. Because, yun nga, no? Because globalization promised, diba? Integration, technology, fast delivery of goods and services, diba? At hindi lang simple fast, but timely. Diyan lang. and even payment and technology. Di ba sabi mo, the very good example of a simple globalized technology is GCash. Diba? Kahit na nasa ibang bansa, you can pay your dues, whatever it is, by using GCash. Pay maya. Another example, Palawan before, but later on, makikita nyo, nawawala na. Kasi hindi ka na pupunta, hindi ka na pipila. Nandito na yung bayan.
Hindi na nakasabay sa flow.
Basta merong kita. Basta may kita. So that's what globalization is. Importante yun kasi nga, pupunta tayo. Now, we will, sa ating second discussion, what are the structures of globalization? How do they manage a global economy? Diba? Tayo, iisip natin problema, how do we manage our own sari-sari store? No? How do we manage our own micro business? But here we are talking about how people manage the world economy. Oh, how is the world economy running? Because it cannot run spontaneously. There should always be a regulation. But hindi naman pwedeng kanya-kanyang, diba? You will do whatever you want to do. So globalization dictates that, but there is always, diba, an infrastructures of how will globalization functions in an effective way. We will talk about the structure. Sabi ko nga, itong first 3 or 4 discussions natin, we lay the foundation in understanding the course of the contemporary world. Meaning, the modern world. So, iisa-isahin natin ito. Okay? So, the structures of globalization, meaning how is globalization being run or how does it run? So, there is a structure, parang sa school, di ba? May structure, may hatian ng gawain, there is a division of labor, division of task. It is now different when it comes to a simple organization, but we are talking here of a world organization or a world structure. So we will discuss step by step the different structures of globalization, how these structures runs the globalized economy. So yun ang kaya magkaroon. Then next, global market tayo. Paano tumatakbo ang pandaigdigang merkado? How does the world market function? Okay? Okay. Bear with me. Let's take it one step at a time para mas maintindihan natin. Okay? Tulo ba ito?
Bumaha dito at
Tumutulo sa diba? Hindi na lang pala flood control ang problema. Flood control. Okay, next. Ayan, so objective natin. Let's define economic globalization, identify the players, ito yung mga structures nila, that facilitates, then define the modern world system. Ano ba ang mundong ito? And articulate the stance on global economic integration. Later on, magpo-pose lang ako ng question. It's up to you to have your own analysis. Is globalization really works for us? Based on its promises of progress and development. So, yun ang step natin. Okay? So, the global economy. Ito, kinuha ko. Those who controls the economy controls the politics. Any explanation?
yung mga mayayaman, sir. Sila po yung
Sa Tagalog, kung sino may control sa ekonomiya, siya ang may control sa politika. At pag ikaw may control sa politika, sorry ma'am, pag ikaw may control sa politika, ikaw may control ng kapangyarihan. So, sino may control ng kapangyarihan? Ang may control ng Simple logic. If A is equals to B, and B is equals to C, therefore, C is also equals to A. Simple logic. So, if I control the economy, I control the politics. If I control the politics, I control the power. So therefore, economy equals to power. Tama? That's right? Okay, before we proceed, kung maintindihan niyo yung bagay na yun, I want you to understand. Paliwanag yun. What do you think? What do you think? Anyone?
What do you think about economy, sir?
No. What do you think about those who controls the economy, controls the politics, so therefore those who controls the politics controls the power, so therefore those who controls the economy controls the power. Using simple logic of A equals B, B equals C, therefore A is equal to C. Tama o mali? Give a simple explanation based on the Philippine setting, and maybe Miss maybe Miss Carmelinda can give an experience also in Timor. Does siya na controls the economic power in Timor? Mga pamilya na kumali ang East Timor. Very famous leader of the revolution in East Timor. Sana na Gusmao, no? If I'm right. Sige, articulate. Kasi mag-proceed tayo. Kasi yan ang puso. That's the heart of the structure. We will dig deeper to the structure, but the heart is this foundation of those who controls the economy, controls the politics. The Philippine setting, who controls the politics?
Businessman.
Ever since. Who controls the politics? Let's start from Cory. Cory na lang kasi baka hindi nyo na inabot yung mas lagpas pa kay Cory, no? Cory, Hindi na rin inabot si Cory, no? Si Cory naupo after the People Power Revolution in 1986. After Cory, Fidel Ramos, after Ramos, Erap, bumagsak si Erap, pumalit si Gloria, Pinoy, after Pinoy, Duterte, after Duterte, Bongbong Marcos. So if you will take that landscape of politics in the Philippines, who controls the politics in the Philippines?
President.
Using that logic of A equals B, B equals C, therefore A is equals to C. Again, okay, sige na. Sige na, come on. Ito yun ang reality. Because the reality is, those who controls the economy, controls the politics. Why? Paano tatakbo? Ikaw, alam ko matalino ka, alam ko matalino. Alam ko may puso ka sa masa. Pero paano ka mananalo presidente?
Sir, kailangan ko mga support ng mga businessman and yung mga from the support of the businessman, kukuha ko ng mga tao and yung mga tao na kukuha rin ng mga tao.
Kailangan mo ng
money.
pera. You know how much it is to run for a president now?
1 billion minimum. 1 billion minimum.
Anong 1 million?
Minimum.
Anong minimum?
Hindi na sa pula. Kasi pag sa president sir, Sa tingin ko, sa tingin.
1 billion is the minimum.
Yes.
Minimum.
Billion,
Ah,
sir?
billion.
Billion sinabi ko, sir.
Kaya nagulat ako, 1 million. Tumatakbo ng barangay captain.
Kaya nga eh, late nun.
Tumatakbo ng barangay captain. So, you need a billion pesos to run your machinery, gaya ng niya, diba? To run for a president. So those only who has a billion pesos on his or her war chest can run for a president. Whether that's coming from the contribution, whether that's coming from your own pocket, you really need a billion pesos to run for a president. Around 500 million
Wala pa yun, sir.
for senator,
Hindi pa yun sa ads pa lang yung 500 million.
and around 200 or 100 million to run for a mayor or congressman. Yung 1 million kanina, napakinggan, di barangay kagawad. Barangay
Sir,
kagawad.
mababa pa yun, kagawad.
Barangay kagawad lang ang
Mababa pa yun,
Kaya
sir.
nga, barangay kagawad lang yun, 1 million. So what I'm trying to say is, who has the 1 billion pesos? Who has the 500 million pesos?
Business.
Ha? Ikaw, Tony.
Sir, yun po. So, na-establish na it would go on dun sa mga tumatakbo during that time. And I think I could give an example.
Yes,
So,
go.
for example po, I think, so, let's start with the economy to politics. Gaya nga po na sinabi niyo, politics is fueled by economy as businessmen invest dun sa mga pinapatakbo nila na individuals. And then when those individuals win, they would be the ones who would be controlling the laws, the trading, and na nag-go through sa bansa natin. So for example po dito, during the Marcos time, senior, when he was elected as the president, he then started creating billion-dollar projects which are funded not by the businessmen, but he actually got it from other countries. So it turned into a Philippine debt, which affected our economy throughout. Although they were saying na, yes, nagkaroon ng golden age by that era, but actually that golden age is just a short time na after nun, it dragged down our economy. Nung nagkaroon tayo ng high inflation, that's where it started po na bumagsak talaga yung economy natin. So considering that time was actually a dark age. So ganun po siya naapektuhan. When he was funded to be the president and then he won, he then used his power to control the laws and the trading in the country and then the infrastructures that was built. And then after that, it significantly affect the economy ng bansa po.
And, ano ang
Ayan po.
result? Ano ang, sabihin na natin, chismis?
Na nagkaroon nga po high inflation that time and then with the implementation of the martial law, nagkaroon ng dispersion in the democracy na meron tayo. So na-limit yung takbo na economy hanggang sa bumagsak talaga economy natin ngayon.
Because of the political situation. So anong chismis? What's the gossip behind Miss Miss Brigino's story? What's is trying to deliver on that? And it is still a gossip until now. Gossip, quote and quote. Wala naman akong tuweba. I do not
Wala pa rin ano sir.
with the Marcos Jr. now back in power after 30 years. Because the gossip then was they were able to amass, diba? Billions of dollars as ill-gotten wealth, diba? They controlled the economy during that time. And Ferdinand Marcos Sr. declared martial law to perpetuate his power, diba? Permanently. inabot ko.
Binata pa rin sir.
Fourth year high school.
Baka nandun ka sa EDSA regulation. Yun.
Okay,
Baka tayo pagbatuwa ka.
third year college yata ako.
Tayo pagbatuwa ka sir.
Third year college na kami na. Excited mo na kami. Ayun, so nga, good. So, therefore, you just have this parang an expression of those who controls the economy, controls the politics, the Philippine setting. Can it be also those who controls the world economy, controls the world politics? Diba? So therefore, the integration of the economy being promised or being done by globalization is also a consolidation of power. So what do you think? Are you answering that? So just take that as a question. Okay? So, hey, next. Again, let's go back to history. Before, long ago, we have already discussed that globalization is happening long before. It was just not yet called
Sir, ano no?
globalization.
Galleon trade or trade?
I think the Great Silk Road exists before the Galleon Trade. Because the Great Silk Road crosses from Turkey, if I'm right, going to China. And the Great Silk Road, it all started by Silk Trade, diba? From the Middle East, going from China to Europe, and later on it develops into a general trade, not just silk, but all other goods that they can carry using camels, carabaos, carts. And that road from Turkey to China becomes the famous trading road. And all started with trading silk, so it was called the Great Silk Road. But in essence, it is the very, very famous trading road. Daan. Until now, China is trying to revive the Great Silk Road by building a train to interconnect two continents. Because of globalization. Why? Because they want to integrate the whole economy. Kaya I'm always going back there. You need to understand that globalization is integrating the economy, making it only as one. Okay? So before that, there is what you call free trade. It's not yet called globalization. Of course, during that time, there's no such word as globalization during that time. But the essence of globalization, where there is a free trade, the free flowing of trade, goods, maybe there's no capital yet. Wala namang pera pa. O meron, there is also money. But it is not yet an investment. But there is really a free trade before long ago. And the value trade is included. Even our forefathers is already having a trade. It's neighboring nations. You can call them nations or countries before, but there is already a trade. We have our trade in China, we have our trade in Malaysia, and if we will go back to our Philippine history, Philippines was once a part of the Greek Empire. The two great Malay Empire that the Philippines was once a part, ano yan? Balik tayo, Philippine history. Kasi para ipakita na meron talagang global trade. Global in a sense, kasi yung may part na regional trade. We can call it a minimum of regional trade during that time. Right? We were once part of the what? Diba? The Sri Visayan Empire and the nakalimutan na the Madhya-Pradesh. Diba? Wala, nakalimutan. Absent. Siguro. So yeah, so meron na. So what do you think is the reason behind it? The same reason naman that exists also today. medyo complicated na today. At that time, there is really, diba, a concept of heavy trading, diba, with your partner. Because there is no monopoly then of products, so they want to taste the products of the other neighboring. Diba? And with that, it constitutes a free trade. Okay? So before, there is really a concept. I'm discussing a concept because there is no such as thing as globalization during that time. But there is the seed or the concept of globalization long before. Okay? So, let's discuss now the premise of this is a world trade, this is a free trade, and they want the whole world to be one production line, one market, diba? And one people. So, who are the players, diba, that guides or involved in the process of interconnecting the world people aspect, diba? From political, cultural, and most importantly, economic. I was saying, isa itong malaking trade. So, merong may nagmamanage. Diba? A certain activity cannot function well pag walang diba, based na management or structure. And we call that structure, behind that structure at the players. Sino ngayon yung mga taong ito? O sino ang mga bagay ito? So we're talking about one, letter A, the international organizations. Okay? So this promotes voluntary cooperation, and coordination among member states. So under the international organizations, we are talking about one, the intergovernmental organization or the IGO, or the number two, the supranational organization. Nasa textbook naman yan, pero hindi tayo masyado mag-document. So, what is an intergovernmental organization? IGO na manage ito. Of nation states that promotes voluntary cooperation. However, the decisions reached by the organizations are not enforceable to member states. Meaning, this is an organization where member states can participate, can formulate policies, but they are not obliged to follow. But of course, bahagi ka naman po, you have the moral obligation to follow. Ayaw dito lang naman yun, di ba? Nagawa tayo ng policy ng school, o ng campus section natin, contribute tayo, so everyone is not obliged to follow, but kung tayo gumawa, di ba? Hindi ko naman inuobliga ka, pero sumunod ka. Tayo naman ang di ba? Gumawa nito. Yung ng irony, di ba? So, agreements, treaty, or convention, if ratified, kasi ito yan, if ratified by the member state, law should be passed by the member state that ratified it. Ang ginagawa naman dyan, class, once a policy was crafted in this intergovernmental organization, you need to ratify it in your home country. Then when you ratify it, when you approve it, you need to craft a law implementing that policy. Complicated, kasi mas politics yun. Pero para makuha nyo lang, there is a convention, international convention. The Philippines will ratify that convention. If the Senate will approve that convention, we need to craft a law that will implement the convention. So, ganoon ang process. Hindi sinasabi lang not obliged, but you have the moral obligation to follow. So, the Philippines will craft a law that will implement the said convention. So, ano mga intergovernmental organization niya? Yan, the World Trade Organization, the World Health Organization, the International Labor Organization, the National Civil Aviation Organization, Asian Development Association. Yan. Tandaan yan. For organization na ito ay pinagsasama-samahan ng iba't ibang gobyerno, different member states, and they craft an agreement, and that agreement, though we are not obliged to follow, but once ratified by our own Senate, we need to craft a bill that will implement such agreement. Like, for example, ito, mas madali niyo maintindihan. When the world COVID, di ba? When COVID was rampant in 2020, the World Health Organization develops a vaccine, di ba? That will, di ba, be disseminated to each and every country to prevent the spread of pandemic, di ba? COVID. But not all, di ba, are obliged to have their own vaccination process. Once niratify ng bansa natin yun, sige, sumunod na rin tayo sa vaccination. And of course, everyone follows kasi nga, maganda naman yung vaccination. So, ganun ang process ng International Labor Organization. Once a convention also is ratified, the Philippines have to craft a law implementing the ILO convention. For example, the latest convention ng ILO, maganda, kung familiar kayo, basa-basahin nyo, di ba? The Complete Eradication of Violence Against Women. Convention 190. Siya daw, Complete Eradication of Violence Against Women. So, maganda. So, once niratify yan ng Senate natin, niratify na, under Amy Marcos, then the Philippines are obliged to craft a law, diba? Implementing the complete eradication of violence against. Okay? So, that's how intergovernmental organization functions. Okay? Manage also the whole world policy. But in every aspect, in different every aspect. Yan, dami yan. Iba't iba yan. Ito, pang labor, pang health, pang civil aviation, pang finance, pang trade, any question? So that's one structure that manage globalization of the world. Next, the supranational organism. Don't confuse yourself. Yes. Tanda ko naman. Sige, sige. Talaga mo natin. Tatlong oras natin talaga dito kasi maintindihan ng globalization. Sige. Pero ito lang naman particular personally topic to make you communicated. At next, tuloy-tuloy na tayo.
IGO. Yung IGO yung
Mamaya kasi marami ng tao.
Yung IGO, the difference, ano niya, ito naman supranatural, a multinational union organization with member country seats authority. Ito, pag nagkasundo rito, sumunod ka.
parang may policy talaga.
May policy na susunod ka. At pag hindi ka sumunod, meron pang ang court na hiniti sa'yo. Pag nag-member ka dyan, kanina sabi nila, pag nag-member ka sa intergovernmental organization, you are not obliged to follow. But you have the moral obligation to ratify it and to practice particular law to implement that as meant. But in the supranatural organization, pag nag-member ka, diba, you need to cede some authority and sovereignty or at least some internal matters in the group whose decisions are binding to its members. Susunod naman. Each member states both from the policies that will affect other member states. Ibig sabihin, kahit no ang binoto natin, nanalo ang yes, yes ang susunod. Diba? At pag hindi ka sumunod, there are open courts that determine when violation has occurred. Yan ang mga samples. United Nations, of course, pag sinabi ng United Nations, ganyan, hindi pwede. Kung sinabi ba ng United Nations, huwag musunin ng Israel ang Gaza? Hindi. Kasi kaya kahit United Nations sided on the war on Gaza. Bias din, ano? Sinabi ba ng United Nations na Putin, do not invade Ukraine. Hindi. O dinusog ni Putin. Because the difference is, yun nga, no? When this supernatural organization decides on something, all member states are allowed to follow. But the bias of it is, there are some issues and concerns na they will not decide on them. Kasi nga, every member state would like to follow. Like for example, there was never a resolution from the United Nations stopping the war in Gaza. So, bomba lang ng bomba ang Israel. Ha? Kaya, kasi nga, walang resolution to stop. Kasi nga, you will okay. So, that's the difference. Anyway, wala mo ko yan, that's the other thing. So, United Nations, the International Monetary Fund that regulates what? Familiar with the International Monetary Fund, it regulates loans. Country loans, sabi niya, conditions for loaning is what? Kung binabasa niyo ang mga conditions ng IMF World Bank, 20% of your GDP should be channeled to debt. Loan tayo sa utang. Okay? The European Union, isang sample ng European Union where everyone is obliged to follow what? A very simple sample of everyone should follow sa policy ng European Union. Actually, there are two things na very common. Simple examples. Ano? Whether this is a passport. No, passport is international. Dito yun. Policy ng UN yun, wala ang passport. Pero hindi lahat may visa.
Sa visa.
Ang US, pag pumunta rito, walang visa. Pag ikaw pumunta sa US, matakot-takot na. Bias na. Ano yan? Ano yung sa European Union? What is a very simple explanation or sample of a policy that everyone is obliged to follow if applicable in the European Union. And also applicable in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. What is that? Two simple samples. One, visa. The Schengen visa. Pamilyar kayo sa Schengen visa?
Di ba ang nakuha visa?
Mali ang sample ko.
Pamayaman.
Schengen visa, di ba? Isang visa lang ang kailangan. You only need a Schengen visa to travel to whole Europe, which is a member of the European Union. Diba? You will apply for a Schengen visa, you go to Paris, and once you reach Paris, you can travel to the whole European Union just having one single Schengen visa.
Pero ano?
Nilimit namin. Ay, of course, your stay has a limit, but what I'm talking is the visa. Of course, you only have
Visa ka.
1 month of stay if you're a
1 month
tourist.
lang, sir.
60. 2 months. Then you can be granted a multiple entry. Enter. Diba? So another thing is the
Then you should divide.
euro. Diba? Isa na lang ang kanilang pera. Diba? But though the French franc is still recognized in France, the Spanish peso is still recognized in Spain, the Belgian franc is still recognized in Belgium, but you only have 1 euro. Diba? If you have a euro, you can pay it, diba? From Spain to hanggang France. Using one single. So, yun ang policy na ginawa ng European Union, which everyone is kaya nga ang Britain umalis sila. So, hindi nila nire-recognize ko ng euro. Isa rin sila British pound. Ha? And in sa ASEAN, we follow that Schengen visa. But it is not a visa anymore. Kasi when you travel to any countries na member ng ASEAN, you don't need a visa. Right? Pag pumunta ka Singapore, punta ka lang. Tatatakan lang doon. Pagdating mo, punta kang Indonesia, ano ba? And again, East Timor, we are really free to go to East Timor because East Timor already now is a member of ASEAN. So we can go to East Timor without any visa. Please come in there. I guess you have a student visa because you will stay here for a long time because you will study here. But as a tourist, as a pre-traveler, we don't need a visa to go to East Timor. Okay, let's pack our things and let's go to East Timor. Parang pumunta lang ng Quiapo. Just like going to Quiapo, ano? Let's pack our things and let's go to East Timor. Yes, we can do that. The problem is, we need a plane fare. And we need a hotel to stay there. Maybe we can stay at yes. You fit your house, you go there. Fit your pass. You'll be your visitor for 2 days, and we will go back here in the Philippines after 2 days. As simple as that.
Yung 2 days, yung
Pag ASEAN, 14 days. Pag yung Schengen visa, pag umikot sila ng Europe, maximum of 90 days yun. So, accumulative yun kahit basta within European countries. Kailangan umexit every 1
Gia.
Alam mo nga parang 60 to 90 pag Schengen. You are allowed to stay as a
91, 82.
business. Sa ASEAN, depende.
14 days lang natin. No visa.
Hindi siya yata mas malaki.
Visa free sir, 14 days.
Anyway, that's what globalization is. Okay. Next, after the international organization, which is the intergovernmental and the supernatural, let's go to the second structure, the international non-governmental organization. There is a governmental organization. There is also a non-governmental organization that also coordinates different functions in the global world. But this non-governmental organization mostly focus on specific issues around the world. Hindi naman sila nakatanggap ng lahat. Focus lang sila sa particular cases. Like for example, hunger, diseases, literacy, inequality, etc. Non-profit voluntary organizations which sometimes are funded by philanthropists or through partial government. Philanthropist. So what is a philanthropist? Fundamental definitions pala kailangan. What is a philanthropist? So pag sinabi, ito philanthropo. What is a philanthropist? Hindi na. Hindi na lang. Philanthropist, isang mayaman, a very, very rich people, person, or a group of people that is using their, di ba, income or richness to fund something good. Okay? Halimbawa, ako, napakayaman kong tao, I will fund a research. Diba? To fund a research, for example, research for the cure of ovary cancer. Yan. I am a philanthropist. Tawag na yan, Tagalog. Kapagkawang gawang tao. That can be a good definition of a philanthropist in a Filipino setting. Kapagkawang gawang tao, you will fund, you will use your money, your richness, di ba, to fund a cause. That is a philanthropy. So usually, ang mga non-governmental organization that focuses on particular issues are sometimes funded by a philanthropist or partially funded by government. Ito tinanggal ni Trump, pero malaki ang nagagawa nito sa buong mundo. But Trump, di ba, tinanggal ni Trump ito, yung USA. Familiar ba kayo? USA, di ba? Yung USA. Yung tinanggal ni Trump, di ba? USA, United States Aid for International Development. Ba't tinanggal niya ba? Yan. Kasi yan nagpo-pondo ng mga ilang research, di ba? Ilang development project, mostly in the African continent. At dito rin sa Southeast Asia. Okay? Sige. Bibigyan tayo eh. So, example of that, may Amnesty International. The Amnesty International mainly focus on human rights that is happening or violations around the world. Another good example is International Committee of the Red Cross and the Red Crescent. So, i-update na yan ha. Hindi lang siya Red Cross. Mas proper na siyang tawagin Red Cross and Red Crescent. Why? Nga? Bakit ngayon meron nang nilagay na Red Crescent? Hindi lang siya Red Cross. O pamilyar yata kayo, Red Cross. Pero politically correct, Red Cross is Red Crescent. O bakit? Yeah. Why? Why Red Cross and Red Crescent? What is a crescent? Anong crescent? Crescent is the quarter moon. The red crescent is the quarter moon. And that symbolizes what? Symbol yan religiously ng ano? Ng Muslim brothers natin. Diba? Tama. So, the crescent is the symbol of the Muslim faith. So, the cross is the symbol of the Christian faith. So, in the world, diba? Meron itong dominant ng Christianity and Muslim. So, yung Red Cross na isang non-governmental organization that responds to crises and needs of people both in the Christian and Muslim world. Create nila from the International Committee of the Red Cross. Mas proper nila Red Cross and Red Crescent.
Matagal nang kasama yung Islam sa Red Cross.
Pero nga, in recognition. Kasi pag cross, hindi na iniwala ang mga Muslim brothers natin on the side of the cross. Politically, to accommodate it to avoid any further political backlash in the matter, Red Cross is Red Cross. Okay? So yan, non-governmental organization. Okay, next. C, ito ang palalawigin natin. The large manufacturing corporation, which are defined into two. Yung tinatawag na multinational corporation, or the MNCs, and number two, yung tinatawag na transnational corporation, or the PNCs. Isa-isa lang natin. Para hindi dumami ang slide. So, ano ang isang multinational corporation? Fundamentally ka. The keyword is multinational. Pag sinabing multinational, English 101, multi means The prefix of pag-multi. Oh, prefix ng ano? Oh, multi. Oh, tapos. Hindi ko na alam ako.
Makasagot kami, sir.
Multinational corporation because multinational. It consists of different, many nationalities. So many nationalities.
Nation, sir. My name is
Kaya gusto ko makuha niyo. Kasi when it is applied in business, di ba? Multinational corporation, it is a business that operates in many countries, cutting across nations. Diba? And operation from a central headquarters. An entity that owns and controls production of goods and services in one or more countries aside from its home countries. So isang negosyo ito na nagdi-negosyo sa iba't ibang bansa. At meron din siyang sarili niyang negosyo sa bansa doon. Pero ako may-ari.
Sir, ikaw pala may-ari.
I am the owner of the one big corporation and other corporations operating in different nations or countries which ang tawag dyan, subsidiary. Okay? Kung narinig niyo yung salitang subsidiary, a subsidiary of, meaning that company is owned more, 50% more by a single corporation. Kaya, wala, pagka sinabi subsidiary, at alam nyo a subsidiary of PS Bank, a subsidiary of Metro Bank. Ibig sabihin, ang PS Bank ay pag-aari ng Metro Bank or 50% of more asset ng PS Bank ay Metro Bank ang may-ari. China Bank is a subsidiary of Banco de Oro. Asian Bank o pero may-ari ay or mostly controlled by that is a multinational corporation. Either papuntang Pilipinas o palabas na. Bakit natin so yan. Samples ng multinational corporation. Crap. Race sa US, akala mo crap, keso lang. Tama? Pero hindi mo alam, kanila pala ang pandemic, kanila pala ang dami, so on and
Kala ko yung tayo galing sa Pinas.
yeah, tayo, kasi nang tayo.
Sir, sa PNG.
Akala mo din ba, Breeze, galing sa Pilipinas?
Opo, sir.
Nung may gulay, corneto, isang
They
brand lang
operate
pala.
outside their nation and they even own different factories or products in different nations. So yan ang isang example. Nakikita mo lang, oh, soft drinks. Oh, may Coke naman talaga dito. But under Coca-Cola, they own, ayan, no? Fanta, Pepsi, Quaker Oats, Pepsi pala yun. Hindi natin alam. Diba? A&W, Mars, akala lang natin, chocolate, diba? Chocolate flavors, pero marami pa rin pala silang ibang product. That is a multi-national corporation. Okay? Diba? So, balik lang tayo. Multinational corporations at mga businesses na nag-operate sa isang lugar at nag-expand sa other lugar at meron nga sila mga business pa na iba sa ibang lugar, diba? Pero sila ang may-ari na hindi lang natin nalalaman. Ano naman ang transnational? So parang, actually sa totoo lang class, it can be used interchangeably because some multinational corporations are also transnationals and some transnational corporations are also multinational corporations. Medyo nakukomplicate na to ha. Kita niyo mabuti. Binigay ko sa pisto. O sa exam to, paliwanag din ng mabuti yan ha. The keyword is transnational. Kanina, multi-national, nagpupunta ka, sa ibang bansa, nag-i-invest ka, multi-nation. Multi-nation na yun. Ito naman, transnation, transnational. Ibig sabihin, extending or operating across national borders, extend operation beyond national boundaries. Ito naman ay, may negosyo ako sa Amerika, ako yan, magtatayo din ako ng the same negosyo sa Pilipinas. At sa buong mundo. Ayos lang naman ang example natin. I will also establish the same business, di ba? On different nations. Kaya, cutting across borders. Multinational, of course, cutting across borders, okay, you are investing in different businesses. But owned by the central business. Yung transnational, pwedeng isa, tapos may mga branches ka. Diba? Bansa. Okay, so, sample. Sample lang naman yan. Sample lang. Diba, McDo? McDonald's is a US product and you can find McDo anywhere. Diba? Pero alam natin, hindi lang McDo naman ang pag-aari. McDo is an example of a transnational corporation. Jollibee can be considered as a transnational corporation right now because from the Philippines, it now has many branches around the world. I think that's right. Jollibee can be considered also a transnational corporation. Samsung, dami. Cellphone natin, Sony, Nike, Adidas, Nokia na wala na. Pero nagsara na to eh. Pag-usami lang po. Marami rin na Coke, Honda, etc. So anong difference? Iba-ibig lang natin dito. Yan. So anong difference? It can be used interchangeably because some multinationals are also transnational and some transnational are also becoming a multinational corporation because some multinationals are also establishing their own branches sa ibang bansa while investing in other businesses. Transnational expands to other nations but sometimes nagtatayo rin sila ng sarili nilang negosyo. So they are interchangeably being used in economic sense. But to find out the difference, kung sinabi natin multinational corporations, ito nga siya, ang multinational country has its own home-based and many subsidiaries. Kung sinabi na natin subsidiaries, it's talking about everything also a company or business owned by us also. Or we have a partner of that country, but we own the majority of the shares. That's a multinational corporation. Here in the Philippines, there are many examples of multinational corporations. Which is a Philippine partner, but mostly owned by a foreign investment. Of course, hindi na lang natin makita kung marami yan. While a transnational, yun nga, sabi ko, is a company, do not have subsidiaries but many companies. Ini-extend naman nila. Yeah, like McDonald's, di ba? McDonald's from the US, anong transnational corporation McDonald's? Maraming McDonald's. Sa buong mundo. Dalawa na lang yata ang walang McDonald's sa buong mundo. North Korea na nga lang yata. Sabi ko dito, North Korea and I think Myanmar. Myanmar.
Meron sa North.
Kasi pinag-out nila nasa kanilang military kudita.
So, walang kalwag ba yan?
Actually, yan na lang din ang dalawang lugar sa mundo na walang Coca-Cola. North Korea and Myanmar. Nandiyan ko, North Korea yata nagpasok na, Myanmar na lang. So that's a good example of the transnational and then multinational corporation. Another thing, multinational companies has a centralized management system. Yung isa nagmamanage ay marami lang silang outlets. Transnational naman, do not have. Why? Papansin nyo, let's take for the case of McDonald's or even Jollibee for that matter. Diba? They are applying a certain what? Diba? Local taste when it comes to sa host country. Kaya mapapansin mo, iba ang lasa ng McDonald's sa Pilipinas pagdating mo sa McDonald's sa ibang bansa. Bakit? Kasi nga, nag-a-adapt. Kailangan nilang the same brand, but they need to adapt on the particularities of a host nation. Pilipinas, mas more on matamis. Kanin. Sa ibang bansa, matabang, walang kanin.
Kulang-kulang galing.
Kanin. Ayan. Pero McDo, kaya iba, pupunta ng Europe, kakain sa McDo. Bakit? Kasi iba ang lasa ng McDo sa Paris. Kaysa sa manok. Kaysa sa manok dito sa Pilong. So, yun ang isang kakaiba. Kasi nga, the same business, ang multinational, wala. Kung ano ang lasa ng A&W sa Amerika, yun din ang lasa ng A&W sa Pilipinas. Sa McDo, sa transnational, may McDo dito, nag-a-adapt sa panlasa ng local host. You are adapting to the taste or to the particularity of the local nation. Okay? International companies will face barrier in the decision making because nandito yun sa central office. Transnational companies, ito mas more on management ito, are able to gain more interest in the local market if they maintain their own system. Of course, ang nagde-decide ng McDo sa Pilipinas ay yung mga executive ng McDo sa Pilipinas. Because they know the particular situation in the Philippines, you know the particular situation in Paris, you know the particular situation in Madrid. So, McDonald's management team in Madrid and in Paris and in the Philippines have their own decision making when it comes to product development. Okay? So, multinational corporations, hindi. It's not like that. The taste of A&W in US is the same A&W that you will taste here in Manila. So sometimes people tend to eat in a multinational corporation because they want to taste the real taste, di ba? Of a foreign or an imported product. Another thing, isa mapapansin mo, you can also notice even in clothing. Uniqlo is a transnational corporation because there are Uniqlo design which is suitable in the Philippines, diba? And there are Uniqlo design in Europe which you cannot use in the Philippines. Bakit ka sa Uniqlo? Again, sa Europe, makikita mo parang kakapal. Bibili ngayon yung mga turista Pilipino. Diba? Galing Paris ang Uniqlo ko. Pagdating dito, kiring ang araw, takahul. Sorry.
Galing pa. Galing yun.
Bakit? Nakapagod na. Kinakahul.
Ang kinit na, no?
Dito ko yung message yung mama.
Di ba kasi yung
Dumating dito ang break.
baka nag-iba yung nag-iba yung temperature.
Kasi that's how a transnational corporation. Kasi sabi, sapatos, kasi mapapansin mo, di ba? Iba model doon sa mga model na nandito ka. Kasi minsan nakadesign siya on a particular situation, di ba? Europe,
Ginawa sa inyo.
medyo malamig. Siyempre, ang mga materials is good for cold atmosphere, while in the Southeast Asian region is more on a tropical, di ba, application. So that's what we see in a transnational or multinational. Okay? So at a glance, yan, ano ang role ng MNC? At PNC, sinortat ko na lang ang multinational corporation at transnational corporation. At a glance, it promotes investments. Provides extra or increased capital from domestic capital. Why? Can everyone tell me to this way? Multinational corporations encourage or promotes
Iba yung
investment.
presyo.
Totoo hindi? Right or wrong? Right.
Presyo pagdating sa
Painis Timor, di ba? May policy yata sila na nag-encourage ng foreign investment. Because, why? Because they do not have sufficient capital yet, di ba? To develop their own nation. So what they need is an extra capital, di ba? An extra investment to develop your nation. So that's what multinational and transnational corporations do to a certain country. Hindi kaya, no? There's no capacity and local investors to develop their own economy, so they need extra capital for to augment, di ba? The existing domestic capital. So yun ang isa. Okay? Two, technology transfer. Tama rin ba yan? Tama naman. Kasi pag nag-i-invest, when the multinational corporations or transnational corporations invest in your country, they bring along not just capital, they also bring along with them what? Modern machines and modern technology which will benefit our own nation. So dala nila, kagamitan nila. They have that. They have their machines, their technology, they will establish their factories here using their own technologies because that's what they need for their own quality of products. Ha? Third, ito, kontrobersya. Hindi ko pinapalitan ng libro. It promotes export. So, when you talk about export, ano? Difference ng import at export. Basic. Basic ano na naman tayo, ha? Difference of import and export. Kasi it promotes export. So, hindi siya nagpo-promote ng import. Pag import, pumapasok. Mula sa labas, papasok. Ay, imported. Saudi ay import. PBA. Import ang tawag iba sa PBA. Kasi galing sa labas, maglalaro sa PBA. So, meron kang import. Kasi the concept of import is a product coming from the outside, going inside your country. And when it comes to export, it's the other way around. The product produced here in the country being delivered to other countries. Okay? So MNC investments and technology transfer develops product and promotes export. So yung mga produktong ginagawa dito, dinadala sa ibang bansa. In a concept, that's good. But what is an export in essence? Diba? If you produce here, you sell it outside the country, diba? The sale is nasa iyo, kasi ikaw may-ari dito. Eh pag multinational,
sa kanila saan na
If it is a multinational corporation that produce here and export it back to the US, nasaan ang sale?
sa kanila rin. Sa akin pa rin.
Hindi
Sa akin
ako.
po, hindi talaga sila.
Hindi tayo dun pa.
Opo.
So yung kita na in-invest nila dito,
Sa kanila rin.
ginawa nila, in-export nila sa kanila,
Sa kanila.
nasaan ang kita? Kita ng company lang, company, ang company ay
Hindi pa yung economy natin.
tanong.
Tama nga na. Hindi ko rin alam. Mahirap rin ito na.
Tanong ko din.
Mahirap rin ito.
Okay, okay na? Oh, kaya lang tayo, pero naiintindihan niyo ba? Kwento ko ng kwento dito, lagi na yung Oh.
Expect daw yung tawuga.
Anyway, that's what we are saying. Sinasabing tama yung sinasabing mali. Sabi ko lang sa inyo, ito naman, they will invest, they will transfer the technology, and they will promote export. Because for any manufactured products here, will be said, palabas nga. Hindi mo naman siya, manufacture here, then you will export here. Kaya dito lang ang local man. Of course, tinitinda din nila. Pero most people, but the concept of export is, you produce here, you sell it outside, then the same is sa local economy mo kasi kaya export. But the irony of is, in a multinational corporation, the concept of export is the other way around. But they export their product, diba? The sale or the profit of the product that they manufactured and they exported is the sale of their business. But the business is a multinational or transnational, the profit goes to the main office. Nasa labas. So, ayan. Kasi, the modern world system, haba ng paliwanag sa libro dyan. Eh, simple lang naman. Ano ba ang modern world system na ini-aspirate na yan ng globalization? According to Immanuel Webster, 1974, but as early as the 1800s, may writings na, sina Lenin dyan, di ba? The modern world system is essentially a capitalist system. Oh, let's get into that. Medyo controversial ang medyo. Kasi ito yung puso ng globalization. Kaya kung gusto maintindihan ninyo yung globalization on the point of view of free trade, diba? Free trade, developing one single production line, developing one single market, one movement of product and services. Because what? It is run as a business. And business is a form of a capitalist system or relationship. Ha? Kasi, pagka ikaw ay namumuhunan at nagde-negosyo, if you are a capitalist, you are investing and you're creating your business, the first things first is you will develop your own business, and second, you will expand. Diba? Cutting across any border that you can. Dati, nagsisimula ka lang ng iced tea mo, patakuran mo, chips. Tapos, anong gagawin mo? Gumaganda benta mo, hindi na lang yung mga kapitbahay mo ang binibentahan mo. Lalabas ka na ngayon ng bakuran nyo. Diba? O, kayo, gumaganda pa rin ang benta ng iced tea mo. O, lalabas ka na ng barangay nyo. Maglalagay ka na ng branches mo sa ibang lugar. O, nasa buong bayan ka na ng Quezon City.
Sigat na. Famous na sila.
Gumaganda pa ng gumaganda. Hindi na lang Quezon City. Oo. Manila na. And eventually, tatawid ka na ng Bisaya, tatawid ka na ng Mindanao, eventually, ayos mo, ay nasa Malaysia na. Ito nyo, kasi ganon ang nature ng isang capitalist business. Diba? SPG. Diba? That has no boundaries, flexible structure, and galaw ka ng galaw, expand ka ng expand. Kaya nga mapapansin nyo, nung sa globalization definition natin, bakit may imperialism na tinawag noong 1914 to 1917, and another in 1942. Because kaya naman nagkagera, hindi naman dahil masungit lang ang mga Germans, no? Masungit lang ang mga Hapon. Kaya sila naggera ng naggera. Because it is a war on domination of market. Dahil hindi nila ma-resolve ang hatian ng market at that time, they resulted into war. Okay? Ngayon, peaceful na, wala nang gera, manaka-naka, but still, the nature of capital investment, the nature of development of business is still keeps on growing and growing at nag-aabot pa rin ng market para gawin nga itong isang maayos na hatian na lang kinonceptualize ang globalization. It pulls people, state societies towards the arena of a worldwide economic transaction. Diba? Creates division of labor. Ayan, nakatian na kanyang. And the main agenda is what? Ano ang main agenda mo pag nagpapalapad ka na nagpapalapad ng business, nagpapalaki ka na nagpapalaki ng sale? What is the main agenda? What's your agenda? Agenda mo ba? Kaya ka nagpapalaki ng iced tea, ay para painumin kami ng iced tea?
Hindi po.
Nagpapalaki ng production of Coca-Cola para makainom ang buong mundo ng Coca-Cola? Ano ang dahilan? Bakit ka nagpapalaki ng production? Therefore, you will increase your sale because it increases your what? Money? The term for money. When it comes to business, what do you call that money in a business sense? Income. Another word for income?
Next word.
Okay? So, anong agenda behind this? Okay? So, yes, is this globalized world is doing? Transforming the world into a world market, a world production system, a world integration, dominated by different structures and dominated by the multinational and transnational corporations because they want people to develop the whole world into one business. And when it comes to business, the world system is a capitalist one. They want it to gain more. Tubo. Malamang. Okay, so, ayan. Okay, pipisa natin. So, online natin itutuloy ito. Piraso na lang ito. And hopefully, natin kung sige, lahat ba nakapirma na sa attendance?
Yes po.
Yes po.
Pagpalit natin, mag-review lang muna tayo. Okay po. Natin.
Sabi ko kay Kate, namiss ka na ba? Ito na.